Chapter 1. The Stand-in Life. I never meant to become someone else's shadow, but life has a strange way of pushing you into corners you never imagined. It started with Elena. She leaned across the cafe table that night, her red nails tapping against the glass like she was beating time to a song only she heard. "Just once," she said. "Pretend to be me. No one will know the difference." I laughed at first. "Elena, I can't even pretend to be myself half the time. Why would I pretend to be you?" Her smile was sharp. "Because you owe me. And because you'll find out how easy it is." That was the first mask I wore. At her engagement dinner, I sat in her place, nodded politely at her fiancé Victor, listened to his plans, smiled when he held my hand across the table. Elena had urgent business that night, or at least that's what she said. But really, she wanted me to cover for her while she disappeared with someone else. I should have walked away then. But the applause when I played her part, the way everyone believed me, it was terrifying, but it was power too. Later there was Maya. Maya wasn't as direct. She asked with her eyes, her quiet voice, the way she clung to me when her mother's illness grew worse. "She won't notice," Maya whispered one evening, pressing her sister's necklace into my hand. "She's too tired to see clearly. Please, just for her sake, pretend to be me." I stared at the necklace. "Maya, you want me to lie to your own mother?" "Not lie. Protect," she said. "You don't understand. If she knows the truth about what I've done, it'll kill her." And so I became Maya too, sitting at her mother's bedside, speaking softly, promising a future I knew wasn't mine. I watched the old woman smile, believing her daughter was clean, innocent, untouched by mistakes. My heart clenched as I lied for Maya, but I did it anyway. Then came Claire. Unlike the others, Claire didn't ask. She demanded. She cornered me after a party, her perfume choking the air, her voice low and sharp. "You've already done it for them," she hissed. "Don't pretend you're too pure now. You'll stand in for me, or I'll make sure everything you've done comes out." I swallowed hard. "What exactly do you want from me?" "My brother thinks I've been working late. In truth, I've been elsewhere. You'll wear my clothes, answer his calls, and if anyone asks, you'll swear you were with him. It wasn't a request." And so, I was Claire too. Day after day, mask after mask, my life stopped belonging to me. Sometimes I woke up and forgot who I was supposed to be. Was I Elena promising a man forever I'd never give him? Was I Maya, a daughter whispering lies of comfort? Was I Claire, pretending loyalty while her schemes dripped poison into every corner of her life? I thought I could handle it. I told myself I was strong enough. But late at night, staring at the ceiling, I heard their voices in my head. Elena's sharp command, Maya's soft plea, Claire's cold threat, and my own voice. It was fading. One night, I tried to walk away. I told Elena I was finished. We were standing in a hallway, lit only by the glow of her phone. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed, her eyes glittering. "You can't leave," she said simply. "Why not?" My voice cracked. "You're back now. You don't need me anymore." She tilted her head. "Don't be naive. We all need you. You're the one who holds everything together. If you walk, it all falls apart. Do you want that on your conscience?" Maya found me after, tears clinging to her lashes. "Please don't leave." "Not yet. I can't face her without you and Claire, always Claire with her cutting smirk. You think you can quit? Then I'll make sure every secret you've covered for becomes your burden." Their voices pinned me down like chains. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them I wasn't theirs to use, but the words stayed stuck in my throat. I was the stand-in. And the cruelest part, they wouldn't let me go. Chapter 2. The Return. I thought the day Elena returned would be the day I could finally breathe. I told myself over and over, once she's back, I'll walk away, and none of them can stop me. But the moment she walked into that room, everything shifted. It was a dinner party. Victor had arranged it. A small gathering, he called it, but it felt like a stage. The long table glowed under the chandelier, glasses filled with red wine catching the light. I was already seated, dressed in the gown Claire shoved into my hands, pretending again, this time for everyone's benefit. Then Elena arrived. The sound of her heels echoed against the marble floor. My heart skipped. Every eye turned to her. "Elena." Victor breathed, standing so quickly his chair nearly toppled. His hands trembled as he reached for her. "You're back." Her lips curved into that familiar, sharp smile. Of course I am. And just like that, the room tilted. I hoped this was it. My release. The moment I could step out of the shadows and leave. So I stood too, pushing my chair back. Good. Then you don't need me anymore. But Elena's eyes cut to me, cold and gleaming. Sit down. The words froze me. Victor blinked, confused. What do you mean? Elena walked forward slowly, each step deliberate. She took her seat at the head of the table directly across from me. Her gaze never left mine. She's not done, she said smoothly. My voice cracked. What are you talking about? You're here now. You don't need me. Claire's laugh was soft, mocking. Poor thing. You still think this is about need? Maya reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine under the cloth. Her eyes were wide, desperate. Please, just a little longer. You can't leave yet. Not now. I jerked my hand back. I've done everything you asked. I've lied. I've covered. I've worn your masks until I can't even remember my own face anymore. I'm finished. Elena tilted her head, her voice calm but sharp as glass. You think you can leave when the game has only just begun? Victor looked between us, his confusion deepening. What's going on here? Elena, what are you talking about? I opened my mouth, ready to spill everything, to tell him how I'd stood in for her, how I'd been the ghost of her lies. But Elena's gaze pinned me in place. Her lips curved ever so slightly, daring me. And then Claire cut in. Victor, she's tired. You know how stressful things have been. Don't listen to her. Stressful? I barked out a laugh, bitter and shaking. That's one word for it. Try suffocating. Try being shackled. Elena leaned forward, folding her hands. You can leave if you're ready to carry every single secret with you. Do you want that weight? Or would you rather stay where you belong? The table fell silent. My pulse pounded so loud I swore they could all hear it. Victor frowned. Secrets? Elena, what is she talking about? Elena didn't flinch. Nothing you need to worry about. But Victor's eyes lingered on me. Then why is she shaking? I swallowed hard, forcing the words out. Because they won't let me go. Because I'm trapped here, playing parts I never wanted, carrying lies that aren't mine. Maya's voice broke, soft and pleading. Don't do this. Please, if you expose us, you'll destroy us. And if I don't, I snapped. I'll destroy myself. Elena's expression sharpened. Then maybe destruction is the price of freedom. Her words sent a shiver through me. Victor's face darkened with suspicion. Elena, enough. I want the truth, but Elena only smiled, calm and poisonous. You'll get the truth when you're ready to hear it. I stared at her, at all of them, and realized something cold. They didn't see me as a person anymore. I wasn't Elena's double, Maya's savior, or Claire's shield. I was all of them, a vessel for their lies. And they would never willingly let me go. Chapter 3. Shackled by secrets. It didn't take long for me to realize I was no longer just a stand-in. I was a prisoner of their secrets. Everywhere I turned, another chain wrapped around me. Elena cornered me first. It was late, the house quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. She leaned against the doorway, her arms folded, her eyes sharp as knives. You'll keep playing your part, she said flatly. Victor can't know what I've been doing. I stared at her, exhausted. And if I refuse, her smile was small, dangerous. Then I'll tell him you seduced him in my place. Who do you think he'll believe? His fiancée or a ghost who pretended to be her? My throat tightened. She didn't just want silence. She wanted obedience. The next day, Maya pulled me aside. We were sitting on the edge of her mother's bed. Mrs. Hale was asleep, her breathing shallow. Maya clutched my hand, her eyes shining with unshed tears. Don't abandon me now, she whispered. If she learns what I did, it'll kill her. Please, just keep pretending. Just a little longer, I shook my head. Maya, you've lied enough. You forged those papers. You stole money. How long do you expect me to carry that for you? Her grip tightened until it hurt. As long as it takes. Do you want her to die thinking I'm a criminal? Can you live with that? Guilt sliced through me like a blade. I pulled my hand free, but her words clung to me long after I left the room. Then there was Claire. Always Claire. She caught me outside, the night air thick with the scent of her perfume. She lit a cigarette, the flame casting shadows across her face. You're useful, she said, exhaling smoke. Don't start thinking otherwise. I crossed my arms. I'm not your puppet. She laughed softly, shaking her head. You already are. Do you think Daniel won't notice the nights I'm gone? Do you think my rivals won't jump the second they see a crack? You cover those cracks for me. You keep me untouchable. I don't want to. I snapped. She flicked ash to the ground, her eyes narrowing. Then maybe I'll tell your truth instead. You've been every one of us, haven't you? Imagine what people will think when they realize you've been lying for 3 women. They'll blame you, not us. That's the beauty of it. Her words hit harder than any blow. She was right. If the story came out, I'd be painted as the deceiver, the liar, the one who played roles for gain. By the 3rd night, my head was spinning with their voices. Elena's threat, Maya's plea, Claire's poison. I couldn't breathe without hearing them. At dinner, Victor tried to talk to me. His eyes lingered, questioning. You look pale. Are you all right? I opened my mouth, desperate to say it. I'm not all right. I'm drowning. They've trapped me in their lies. But before I could speak, Elena's hand slid across his arm. She's fine, Elena said smoothly. Just tired. Aren't you? Her eyes cut to mine, warning. I forced a smile. Yes. Just tired. Victor frowned, unconvinced, but he let it go. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. My chest ached with all the words I couldn't say. I thought about Elena's double life, Maya's stolen money, Claire's ruthless deals, secrets that weren't mine but had become my chains. I whispered to myself in the dark, my voice trembling. Who am I anymore? Elena? Maya? Claire? Or just the shadow they keep locked in their cage? The silence answered back, and I realized something terrifying. As long as their secrets lived, I would never be free. Chapter 4. Cracks in the Mask. I stopped trying to sleep. Nights were no longer for rest. They were for planning. If they wanted me to keep playing their roles, I would. But not perfectly. I would let little cracks show, just enough to make them sweat. The first time, it was with Victor. He caught me in the garden, the night air heavy with the scent of roses. His brow furrowed as he studied me. Elena, he said, voice soft. You've changed. You don't look at me the way you used to. I froze. Elena's name on his lips felt like a chain tightening around my throat. My smile was faint, trembling. Maybe that's because I'm not Elena. His eyes widened, searching mine. What do you mean? Before I could answer, Elena appeared at the doorway, her voice sharp. Victor, come inside. It's cold. He turned to her, confusion etched into his face. By the time he looked back at me, my lips were sealed. Elena's glare burned into me long after he left. Later that night, she found me alone. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled as she poured herself a drink. You're slipping, she whispered. Do you want to destroy us both? I stared back. Maybe I want to destroy you. Her glass slammed against the counter, shattering. She stepped closer, her breath hot with wine. Careful. You don't know what I'm capable of. I didn't flinch. Neither do you. The next day, it was Maya. I sat by Mrs. Hale's bedside, holding her frail hand. The old woman smiled at me, her eyes cloudy but warm. Maya, my sweet girl, she whispered. Promise me you'll stay good. Promise me you'll never fall into temptation. The words twisted in my chest. I looked into her face, into the trust she carried. My voice broke. What if I already have? Her brow creased in confusion, but before she could speak, Maya stormed into the room. Mother, don't listen to her, she said quickly, her voice too high, too strained. She's just tired. She dragged me out into the hallway, her fingers digging into my arm. Why would you say that? She hissed. Are you trying to kill her? I ripped free, my voice low and shaking. I'm trying to remind you what's at stake. Her eyes filled with tears, but there was anger there too. If she dies believing I'm a monster, it'll be your fault. I turned away, the guilt heavy, but not enough to silence me anymore. And then came Claire. She always noticed the shifts first. We were in the study when she caught me staring at her desk, at the papers she'd hidden away. Her lips curved into a smirk. Thinking of stealing my secrets? I leaned against the desk, meeting her gaze. Why should I? They'll bury you on their own. Her laughter was sharp, cruel. Oh, you're growing teeth. How cute. I stepped closer, my voice steady. Maybe I'm done being your puppet. Her smirk faded. For the first time, I saw the crack in her mask. A flicker of doubt. She leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper. You think you can outplay me? You'll regret it. I didn't answer. I just smiled, thin and deliberate. That night, lying in the dark, I felt something I hadn't in months. Not peace, not safety, but power. It was fragile, dangerous, like holding fire in my bare hands. But it was mine. For the first time, I wasn't just the stand-in. I was the one writing the script. Chapter 5. The breaking point betrayal doesn't always arrive with a scream. Sometimes it comes quietly, like a knife slipping between your ribs while you're too busy breathing to notice. I found out the hard way. It happened on a rainy evening. The house smelled of wet stone and burning candles, the storm outside rattling the windows. Victor called for me. No, for Elena. His voice was tense. "Come here," he said, standing in the center of the study. On the desk lay a folder, its papers spread out like wounds. His eyes were sharp, searching. "Explain this." I froze. The papers weren't mine, but I recognized them instantly. Documents signed under my name. Forged letters, fake receipts. It was Maya's mess. Only now it had my fingerprints all over it. I whispered, my throat dry. "That's not me." Victor slammed his hand against the desk. "Don't lie to me. These are in your handwriting. Behind him, I saw them. Elena, Maya, Claire, all standing there, silent, watching. And in that silence, I understood. One of them, no, maybe all of them, had set me up. My chest tightened. "You planted this." You wanted him to believe it was me. Claire's smirk was faint, her eyes glinting. "Don't look at me. I don't deal with scraps of paper." Elena's voice was calm, too calm. "Victor, she's confused. She's been unstable for a while." "I warned you." "Unstable?" I choked out. "You're the liar here, Elena. You're the one sneaking around while I covered for you. You think I wanted this?" Victor's gaze snapped to me. Covered? Covered what? For a heartbeat, silence hung heavy. My breath caught in my chest. I could spill everything right there. Tear down Elena's mask, drag Maya's sins into the light, expose Claire's venom. But before I could speak, Maya stepped forward, her eyes shining with tears. "Don't listen to her," she whispered, her voice breaking perfectly on cue. "She's trying to ruin us because she's jealous." "Jealous?" I spat, my voice rising. "Jealous of what? Of being your replacement? Of choking on your lies?" Victor's face hardened. "Enough. I want the truth." The room spun around me. Elena's eyes were daggers, Maya's tears a trap, Claire's smirk a warning. They had me surrounded, and no matter what I said, it would turn against me. I forced myself to breathe, my voice shaking. "The truth is, I'm not Elena. I never was. I've been her stand-in. For her, for Maya, for Claire. Every time they needed someone to cover their lies, they sent me. And My throat closed. I was too weak to say no. Victor stared at me, disbelief clouding his face. "You expect me to believe that?" Elena stepped forward, resting a hand on his arm. "Don't, Victor. She's sick. She's been obsessed with me for months. I let her help me once, and she became addicted to pretending." "That's not true," I shouted. "You made me do this." "All of you." But my voice sounded desperate, wild, while hers was calm and steady. Victor's jaw tightened. "I can't do this right now." He grabbed the folder, his hands shaking. "I need to think." He left the room without looking back. The door closed. The silence was suffocating. Then Claire laughed, a low, cruel laugh that echoed against the walls. "Oh, you really thought you could outmaneuver us, didn't you?" I turned on her, my chest heaving. "You set me up." "You all did." Maya's tears fell silently, her face pale. "We didn't have a choice." "No choice," I snapped. "You had a choice every time you shoved me into your lies. Every time you made me disappear into your shadows." Elena's voice cut through, sharp and merciless. "And you played along. Don't forget that. You wanted it too." Her words stung because there was a sliver of truth. I had wanted the approval, the safety, the belonging, even if it was all poisoned. But now, standing there with their lies pressing down on me, I felt something shift. The fear that had ruled me for so long cracked. In its place, something else began to rise. Hot, sharp, dangerous. I stepped closer to Elena, my voice low but steady. "You think you've trapped me, but you've forgotten something." Her brows arched. "And what's that?" I smiled, thin and trembling, but real. "I know all your secrets, every last one." Her face faltered, just for a heartbeat. Maya gasped softly. Claire's smirk twitched. I turned toward the door, my legs shaking but my steps firm. "You wanted to bury me under your lies. Fine, but if I go down, I'll drag you all with me. No one stopped me. No one dared. And for the first time, I felt their fear. It was the only thing keeping me standing. Chapter 6. The First Strike. I didn't sleep after that night. Their words echoed in my head. Liar, obsessed, unstable. But beneath the shame, a spark burned hotter. Fear was shifting. For the first time, they were afraid of me. And I intended to feed that fear. The first chance came with Maya. We were in the hallway, her eyes red from crying, her hands twisting nervously. "You didn't mean what you said," she whispered. "You won't tell anyone, right? Not about the money?" Her voice trembled on that last word like it was poison. I leaned in close, letting silence stretch until she squirmed. "I wonder what your mother would think if she knew her sweet daughter forged signatures and stole from her own company." Her face went white. "Please don't. She can't handle that." "Then stop treating me like I'm disposable," I hissed. "Or maybe I'll let one word slip." She flinched, tears spilling down her cheeks. For once, I didn't feel guilty. I felt powerful. Later, I found Elena in the garden with Victor. She was laughing softly, her hand on his arm, the perfect picture of devotion. But when her eyes met mine, I saw the flicker of panic she tried to hide. Victor excused himself to answer a call, leaving us alone. I smiled faintly. He's a good man. Honest, loyal, almost too good for someone who's been sneaking away at night. Her mask cracked just for a second. "Careful," she murmured. I tilted my head. "What will you do if he finds out where you've really been?" Her nails dug into her palm, but her voice stayed calm. "He won't, because you won't tell him I stepped closer, my whisper sharp as glass. Don't test me." For the first time, Elena didn't look like the one in control. It was Claire who tested me next. She cornered me in the study, her usual smirk curling at her lips. "You've been bold lately," she said, pouring herself a drink. "But boldness without power is just suicide." I met her gaze, steady. "Power isn't about fists or money, Claire. It's about what you know." Her smirk faltered, just slightly. I leaned against the desk, lowering my voice. "Daniel's been asking questions. He notices things, doesn't he? Like the late nights, the missing files. What do you think he'd do if he saw the deals you've been making behind his back?" Her glass froze halfway to her lips. "You wouldn't." I smiled thinly. Wouldn't I? The silence stretched between us, thick with the weight of her own paranoia. She set the glass down hard, liquid sloshing over the rim. "You think you're clever," she spat. "But you're playing with fire." "Maybe," I said softly. "But at least I'm not the one drenched in gasoline." Her jaw tightened. For once, she had no retort. That night, lying awake, I replayed each confrontation in my head. Maya's pale face, Elena's flicker of fear, Claire's silence. I had found the cracks, but with every word I spoke, every secret I hinted at, I knew I was digging my own grave too. Because if they realized I wasn't bluffing, if they realized I truly intended to burn their lives down, they might decide to silence me for good. Still, I couldn't stop now. I whispered into the darkness, my chest rising and falling with steady breaths. They thought I was their puppet, but I'm the one holding the strings now. Chapter 7. When masks shatter. I used to think the worst thing that could happen was being hated. I was wrong. The worst was watching people you trusted fall apart because you finally told the truth. It started with a folded envelope on my kitchen counter. No name, no stamp. Just a single sheet that had been slipped under the door. I picked it up with shaking hands. Inside were copies of messages, dates, and a single photograph of Elena with the other man, Victor's rival, his arm around her waist, laughing like nothing mattered. My heart thudded. I knew the face in the photo. I had been the one who sat at dinners pretending to be her while she was elsewhere. The betrayal felt like fire in my stomach, but I had planned for this. I had been careful. I'd kept copies, held back a few truths, waiting for the right moment. I went to Victor that morning while he was in his study, paper strewn and distracted. I let the papers fall across his desk as if by accident. "Victor," I said, my voice steady though my hands trembled. "You should see this." He frowned, reaching for the photo. "What is this?" "Elena's been lying to you." My words were blunt and raw. "She's been with him. She's been hiding it while you think she's here." I stood in for her at dinner while she was with him. He read the messages, his fingers gripping the paper until his knuckles blanched. "This can't be true," he breathed. "It is." I swallowed. "I have more." I have dates, places, proof. His eyes lifted to mine. Hurt, betrayal, the kind of damage I had seen in my own mirror. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm done being erased, I said. Because I can't watch you live a lie. He slammed the folder closed, the sound loud in the silent room. I need time to think. Time. That was all I needed. I walked out, the weight in my chest, equal parts relief and terror. By noon, Daniel had found me. He cornered me in the courtyard, his voice low. Why did you give Victor the papers? Because he deserves the truth, I said simply. Daniel's jaw tightened. Claire will erupt. She'll try to blame you. She might even hurt you. Let her, I replied. Let her try. He studied me for a long moment, then nodded once. Good. You did the right thing. I didn't have time to breathe. The house was already buzzing. Victor confronted Elena that evening at dinner. The table broke apart in shards, sharp words, slammed plates, the kind of shouting that makes your ears ring. Victor's face was raw as he read the messages aloud. Elena's mask cracked, anger, then pleading, then a cold practice fury. You set me up, she hissed at me between breaths. You think you can ruin me? No, I said. I think I can stop you. Maya's world collapsed next. I hadn't expected how quickly truth would feed on truth. She went to check on her mother and found a bank statement tucked in a notebook, one of the receipts I had hinted at, now laid bare. Mrs. Hale stared at it like a ghost, confusion turning to disbelief. Maya, she whispered, what is this? Maya's face crumpled into sobs. Mother, You lied, Mrs. Hale said, each word a small death. You lied to me. Maya lunged forward, begging, hands outstretched. Please, please, don't say those things. I did it for us. Her voice broke. Mrs. Hale backed away, her eyes glassy. You promised you would be honest. I prayed to die having known the truth. How could you? The breakdown that followed was worse than anything I had imagined. The woman who had loved her daughter unconditionally curled into a chair and wept as if the world had ended. Her faith shattered. Maya's pleas became screams of apology and madness. I watched and felt nothing and everything at once. Guilt like a hot stone. Relief like cool rain. Claire's fall was slower and more brutal because she tried to fight until the last second. Daniel confronted her in front of a group of business partners, his voice even but deadly. The files don't add up, he said. I know you made deals behind my back. Her face went white. You don't understand the pressures. Pressures? Daniel laughed hollowly. You lied to me. You lied to everyone. She tried to twist it, to pin the blame, to make me the common enemy. She's been manipulating us all, she cried, pointing at me. But by then, enough people had seen small things. A missed signature here, a suspicious transfer there. Claire's empire of smooth words and late-night meetings began to crumble under the weight of facts. Detective Rowan appeared like a shadow between the cracks. He had been watching for weeks, asking questions that felt polite until they weren't. He sat me down and asked gently, "Why did you finally decide to speak?" "Because they kept my life as collateral," I said. "Because I was sick of being erased." He nodded, his pen poised. "Things will get messy." They did. Newspapers whispered. Friends chose sides. Parties I had once attended as someone else now felt like a crime scene. People stared at me with a new kind of interest, the kind that tastes of rumor and pity. And yet, when the masks fell, there was a strange clearing. Where lies once lived, truth stood raw and painful, but real. Victor's face changed over the following days. Not just anger, but clarity. Daniel stood with me in a small way, his apology quiet and real. Mrs. Hale sank into a silence that was mournful and true. I lost a few things. Trust, safety, the soft illusion of belonging. But I gained something I hadn't allowed myself to name. Control. I walked through the rooms and felt the echoes of what had been and what now was. They stared at me like animals surprised at sunrise. I met their eyes and felt no shame left to give. "Are you happy?" Elena asked me once, her tone brittle. "No," I said honestly. "I'm alive." Chapter 8. The Last Betrayal. I should have known it wouldn't end with the truth. People like them don't surrender. They lash out. It happened late, after the house had gone quiet. I was walking back to my room when I heard footsteps behind me, softer than usual, deliberate. "Don't turn around," a voice hissed. I froze. The cold edge of metal pressed against my back. A knife. My Heart slammed in my chest. "Claire," I whispered. Her laugh was bitter, close to my ear. "You always were quick." I kept my voice steady. "So this is it? After all your games, you're going to end it with a knife in the dark?" She pressed harder. "Do you know what happens if you keep talking? Everything I built, gone. I won't let you take it from me." I swallowed, my palms slick. "You've already lost. Everyone sees you now. This won't change that." "Maybe not," she snapped, "but it'll stop you. Without you, the stories fall apart. They'll never be able to prove who lied and who didn't." Her logic was twisted, desperate, but she believed it. I forced a shaky laugh. "You're terrified. That's why you're here." Her silence said more than words. Then, footsteps. "Claire." It was Daniel's voice echoing from the end of the hall. Claire's grip faltered, the knife pulling back a fraction. My chance. I spun, slamming my shoulder into her arm. The blade clattered to the floor, metal screaming against marble. She gasped, stumbling back. Daniel ran toward us, his face pale as he saw the knife. "What the hell are you doing?" "She's lying," Claire shouted, her hair wild, her voice shrill. "She's trying to destroy me." I stood there, chest heaving, my hands shaking, but my voice sharp. "I'm not destroying you, Claire. You did that yourself." Daniel's eyes flicked between us. He bent, picking up the knife. His voice was heavy with disgust. "You would have killed her." "No," Claire cried, but even she didn't sound convinced. He turned away from her, his gaze locking on mine. "Go. Get out of here." For a moment, I couldn't move. My legs felt like stone. But then I nodded, slipping past them both, my heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. I didn't stop until I was outside, the cold night air hitting me like water. I leaned against the wall, gasping, my whole body trembling. The betrayal had cut deeper than the knife ever could, not because I didn't expect it, but because some small, broken part of me had hoped Claire wouldn't go that far. But she had. And now there was no going back. Chapter 9. Freedom's Price. The morning after the knife, the house felt different. Too quiet, like everyone was holding their breath. I walked into the dining room and found them there. Elena, Maya, Claire, Daniel, even Victor. No one spoke. The air was thick with everything unspoken. Victor's eyes landed on me first. His voice was flat. "I know the truth now. About all of you." Elena tried to smile, her lips trembling. "Victor, don't be rash." "Enough," he snapped, his voice breaking. He shoved the papers across the table. "You lied. You let her take your place while you—" His chest rose sharply. "I loved you, Elena. And you turned me into a fool." She reached for him, but he pulled back. For once she had no words. Maya was weeping silently, her head in her hands. "Mother won't look at me," she whispered. "She won't even speak. She just stares at the wall." I wanted to feel pity, but I couldn't. The weight of her tears felt like justice. Claire sat stiff, her jaw clenched. She hadn't spoken since last night. Daniel's eyes burned into her, the knife still heavy in his memory. "You crossed a line," he said coldly. "You nearly killed someone to protect your lies. You're not my sister anymore." Claire's lips parted, but nothing came out. For the first time, her silence was louder than her words. I sat down slowly, my hands trembling. All their eyes shifted to me, and for once I didn't feel invisible. I felt raw, exposed, but alive. Victor leaned forward, his voice low. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I met his gaze. "Because you wouldn't have believed me." "Because they made sure of it." He exhaled, long and tired, leaning back in his chair. "You were the only one who told the truth in the end." The words hit me harder than I expected. Truth, mean. For the first time, I wasn't speaking for them. I was speaking for me. But freedom carried a price. I stood, my voice steady. "I'm leaving." Maya's tear-streaked face jerked up. "You can't." Helena's eyes narrowed. "If you go, you'll ruin us." I laughed bitterly. "You ruined yourselves." I just stopped hiding it. Claire finally spoke, her voice hoarse. "You think you've won." I turned to her, meeting her glare. "No, there's no winning here. Only surviving." I walked toward the door, every step heavy. My chest felt tight, not with fear anymore, but with the weight of everything I'd lost. My innocence, my trust, the small part of me that once wanted to belong to them. Daniel's voice called softly behind me. "Where will you go?" I paused, my hand on the doorframe. "Anywhere that isn't here." And then I stepped out, the morning air cool on my face. For the first time in months, I wasn't carrying their masks. I wasn't pretending to be someone else. I was me, scarred, shaken, but free. And that freedom was worth the price. Chapter 10. I refused to be her again. Hyden felt strange. It wasn't light. It was heavy, weighted with scars I couldn't see but carried everywhere. I rented a small room in the city, bare walls and a single bed. Silence lived there, the kind that didn't smother me like their house did. Still, at night, their voices haunted me. Elena's calm threats, Maya's desperate pleas, Claire's bitter laugh. One evening, weeks later, I found her again. Elena. She was waiting for me outside the cafe where it had all begun, leaning against the glass, her red nails tapping against her arm. I froze. "Why are you here?" She smiled faintly, too controlled to talk. I wanted to turn and walk away, but my feet rooted to the ground. What could you possibly have left to say? Her eyes searched mine. "You destroyed everything." "No," I said quietly. "You destroyed yourself. I just stopped playing your role." Her lips tightened. "Do you feel powerful now? Do you feel better knowing Victor left, knowing Maya's mother despises her, knowing Claire has nothing?" I took a slow breath. "No, I don't feel powerful. I feel empty, but at least it's my emptiness, not yours." Her hand twitched like she wanted to reach for me, but she stopped. "You were good at it," she whispered. "Better than I ever thought. Sometimes I looked at you and wondered if you even remembered who you were." "I didn't," I admitted. "Not until the day I told the truth." Silence stretched between us. Finally, she exhaled, her voice soft. "I thought you'd always stay. That you needed us as much as we needed you." I shook my head. "I needed myself more." Her eyes flickered with something, regret, maybe, or pride twisted into something sour. Then she stepped back, her smile brittle. "You'll regret walking away." "Maybe," I said, "but I'll never regret being me again." She left without another word, her heels fading into the night. I stood there long after she was gone, staring at my reflection in the cafe window. For the first time, I saw myself. Not Elena, not Maya, not Claire, just me. The weight of it brought tears to my eyes. I pressed my palm against the glass and whispered, "I refuse to be her again." The city lights blurred with my reflection, but I didn't look away. The story they wrote for me was over. Now, for the first time, I could begin writing mine.